Hey guys, so today I thought we'd just go over really briefly the importance of ninth chords, I think, into spicing up your blues playing. Please excuse any mowing that you hear in the background. It's just the neighbors. It's a non-hot day in the south, so mowing happens. Alright, so if you're playing a 12-bar blues, we're going to do it in B flat just because that's how I started, and just stay there. But you can do this anywhere up and down the fretboard. Alright, so I typically would start a 12-bar blues with a 7th chord. Now I'm doing this, but you don't have to. You can play a standard 7th chord either way. But a 7th chord sounds a little different than a 9th chord, as you're going to tell. So this kind of spices up your playing. So typically, if you're playing a 12-bar, you could just do all 7th chords, right? So B flat 7, E flat 7, and then you got your F 7. And that's it. What I like to do is for the E flat and the F, do a 9th chord instead. It spices it up a little bit, but you can also throw in your 7th chords as the song goes on, just to kind of give it some different tones. But a 9th chord is pretty simple. Alright, it's just a lot of fingers in one area, okay? But just to show you, anytime you're going to do a 9th chord, you're only going to play the A, D, B, A, D, G, B, and then you can play the high E. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. But you're not going to play the low E string. So what you're going to do to play a 9th chord is you're going to find your root note on the A string. So in this case, if we're doing an E flat, our root note is on the 6th fret. So that's where our middle fingers are going to go. Alright, that's how you know we're good. So we're going to do our 6th fret with our middle finger. Then with our pointer finger, we're going to go to the 5th fret of the D string. Then with our ring finger, we're going to go to the 6th fret of the G. And now the pinky is also going to go to the 6th fret of the B. So you got a little bit of traffic jam there. Now where I told you could also use the high E, well, if you also grab the 6th fret of the high E, you can throw that note in there as well, and it gives it more of like a funky kind of tone. Alright, but you do it however you want to. Alright, so the cool thing there is, once you've got that shape down, you can move it anywhere. So remember, you're just always trying to find your root note on the A string, and that tells you what 9th chord you're playing. So in this case, we're going to, if we're doing a B flat blues, we've got our 4 chord, which is the E flat. We just need the F, so we're just going to move it up 2 frets. And the cool thing about blues is when you're playing and you're switching between the 4th and the 5th, you can do a little stopping in the middle, which in this case would be an E, but it's just a walk up, right? On the A string, we can do it with the 9th chords. And walk down. So that's cool. Really easy lesson because it's very important, but it's pretty simple. And so again, you know, you can find anywhere. If you find, okay, my root note's a C, I'm gonna make that shape, I got a C9. So you can move it anywhere. Hope that you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below.